everyone, good morning. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Amanda, and today I'm going to be making some gluten-free white chocolate cranberry cookies. And I'm so excited to try this out because I always make them with oatmeal, and this is the first time I'm trying a new recipe that does not call for oatmeal for white chocolate cranberry cookies. So I'm really excited to try this out. I can link in the description box down below of how I've made them in the past using oatmeal, and those are delicious too. But I'm really excited to try this out because this is a new recipe. So let me show you everything that I am using for this recipe. This recipe, here's everything that we are using. I have some craisins, dried cranberries. I also have fresh as well, but for this recipe, I'm going to use some dried cranberries because I have quite a bit in this bag, so I want to use some up. We're going to use some white sugar, some light brown sugar, King Arthur Baking Company gluten-free measure for measure flour. It's one of my favorites. It's amazing, especially if you take a regular recipe that calls for all-purpose flour. This is amazing, swapping it out to make your recipes gluten-free. I'm going to use some salt, 1 egg, some orange zest, baking powder. I can't remember if I said vanilla extract, but some vanilla extract, and also some Toll House white chocolate. I love this brand because it is gluten-free. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to add 3/4 cups of softened room temperature butter into our large mixing bowl. Add a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Add 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. Now with your electric hand mixer, we're going to mix on medium-high speed, and we're going to cream together the butter and the sugars, and you want to mix it for until it's really nice and light and fluffy. Mine took like a good 4 to 5 minutes. If you still have butter chunks, definitely keep mixing it until it's really nice and creamy. Yes, it does take a while to really get it to be nice and creamy and smooth, but it does make a difference for your cookies. So definitely make sure that it does feel nice and smooth. Now we're adding 1 large egg, and we're going to go ahead and mix it until it's all nicely incorporated. Now we need 2 teaspoons of orange zest. The orange zest paired so well with the white chocolate and the cranberries. I was in love with it when I did try it in the cookie. It was amazing. I've never done this when I've made the white chocolate cranberry oatmeal cookies, so this was just amazing. Now add the 2 teaspoons of orange zest to the cookie batter. Add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now mix all those ingredients together until they are all nicely well combined. Now we need 2 cups of gluten-free flour, and we're going to go ahead and put it directly on top of our wet ingredients. Add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now that we have all our ingredients in our mixing bowl, we can go ahead and mix it until it's all nicely combined. And you want to mix until it comes to a nice dough form. It did take a while to mix it until it came to a nice dough form, but you will definitely see how it looks as you're mixing it until you know when you are done. You will definitely feel a difference in the dough. Now that it is mixed, we can go ahead and remove the dough from the beaters. Add 3/4 cups of white chocolate chips. Now we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup of dried cranberries. I love this brand. It's amazing. Plus they're gluten-free. They're amazing to add into snacks or just to snack on itself. And so if you don't want to use dried cranberries, you can use 2 cups of fresh cranberries. And now that we have that all in there, we're going to go ahead and take a spatula and mix it together. It was really hard mixing it with the spatula, so I decided I was going to mix with my hands because it was a lot easier. In the recipe, it does call for 2 cups fresh cranberries, And if you do that, then you want to go ahead and chop them, or you can just substitute them with 1 cup of dried cranberries. Now we're going to go ahead and take a cookie sheet and line it with aluminum foil, and we're going to take some nonstick spray and spray it nicely. You can use parchment paper if you want to instead of using aluminum foil. Both is perfectly fine. For this first batch of cookies, I rolled them up into 1-inch balls, and when I baked them, they stayed this way. They didn't relax or flatten, they stayed this shape. So later on, I tried out different ways of how I wanted to see how they would bake. So you will see as the video goes on of how I baked them in different ways of rolling them and flattening them. The first batch that I rolled, I got a total of 12 1-inch balls. They did not relax, they stayed this shape, and these you're going to bake for 11 to 13 minutes, and they literally took 12 minutes to bake. We're now going to put them in the preheated oven of 350 degrees, and we're going to bake them between 11 to 13 minutes, and again, they took 12 minutes to bake. Now, if you are baking them with fresh cranberries, it will take a little bit longer to bake, so those would take about 12 to 15 minutes. 12 minutes are up and they look great and they smell amazing. Here's how they look, and they look so cute and festive, especially for this time of year. And let me tell you, they did taste really amazing. Let them cool down for a good 5 minutes before transferring them to a plate or a cookie rack. I love using a plate just because the plate's already cool and it helps cool them down. And then also that takes up less space on my kitchen counter. Either one works perfectly fine. For the second batch, I'm making them just a little bit bigger than the 1-inch round balls. And then I'm going to go ahead and flatten them because I really want to see how they bake like that. I am now taking the palm of my hand and gently pushing them down, not completely flattening them, but just to where it's kind of like a cookie thickness. Here's how they look flattened. These ones are now ready to go into the oven. I set my timer for 11 minutes, but they definitely needed a little bit longer. This batch took a total of 13 minutes to bake. These ones turned out really neat looking too. I'm not sure which ones I liked the best, the round ones or the flattened ones, but they both were fun and turned out amazing. I let these ones as well cool for 5 minutes before I transfer them to the plate. And you can see the difference of the shapes too between the round balls and them being flattened. So it makes it really fun to kind of switch it up. I really got to see which ones I liked and how they baked. I really don't have a preference. I mean, it was fun either way. They still tasted great. That's all that matters. There was not a lot of cookie batter left, so I made these ones fairly large compared to the other ones. So I got a total of 5 out of the last batch. And these it didn't bother me on, the size or the shapes. So this time I rolled them between my hands and then I flattened them between both palms of my hands. But when I was flattening them, I was really trying to make it to where I was getting more of the cranberries or the white chocolate on the top. So that way when they would bake, that would be really pretty on the top of them. Then I added just a few extra white chocolate chips, not many. There was just some on the counter that my son was snacking from. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to add those to it. This batch is ready to go into the oven. They're now going into the oven. Again, I set my timer for 11 minutes. I'm going to check it then. My last batch took a total of 14 minutes. These ones were slightly bigger than the last. These ones look great too. And I like how there is more cranberry showing on the tops of these ones. And these ones again, I let cool for 5 minutes before transferring to the plate. They turned out great. I had a lot of fun trying out the different shapes and sizes with them. But they look great. I do love when the cranberry is really shown on the top. They were so tasty and delicious. My kids absolutely loved them when they got home from school. I love when I can make some baked goods and they come home to them and the house smells great. They were a hit. They were delicious. They're gluten-free and I got to enjoy them with my family. But look at that. They were delicious. I was so excited I finally got to try them out. They were so soft and delicious. It almost kind of reminded me of a sugar cookie in a way, where it's soft in the flavor. And the white chocolate with the cranberry and the orange zest was amazing. It was so delicious. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day and try these out. Bye, guys.